What's going on, guys? It's Highlighted Miners here. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. I haven't posted a video in about 2 weeks. My wife and I had to go to Hawaii. My grandmother is fighting cancer for the 5th time, so we were down there hanging out with her, helping them a little bit. So I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Today I want to talk about a topic that is vital to crypto mining, and that is keeping your rigs up. When your rigs are not up, you are not making money. So let's get into it. Okay, so as you guys may know, we do use HiveOS to mine with. I do have some tutorials on how to mine within Windows, specifically using T-Rex Miner, and I'll link those up in the corner. But we use HiveOS, especially on our larger rigs. So I'm going to walk you through how to use what HiveOS calls Watchdog. So let me go ahead and pull this up here for you guys. Okay, so this is just my test bench. I got a 3070 Ti on here. I'm having some trouble with this 3070 Ti. It is a Zotac, so they're not known for great thermal pads. When I had it on one of my rigs, it constantly just went dead. And that actually brings me to the point of Watchdog, which Watchdog was actually rebooting my system every time this card would go dead because it would fall below the hash rate that I was supposed to be getting. But let's talk a little bit about Watchdog. So if you're in HiveOS and you click on the rig, like I said, this is our test rig. You click on the rig, you'll see this little dog up here. This is hash rate Watchdog. Go ahead and click on that, and that'll open up some options. Now, essentially what Watchdog is doing is it's watching your rigs for you when you're not able to. And there's a few different commands that it will do. If it detects that your rig falls below a certain hash rate, then it will, after 3 minutes, restart the miner. That's the actual miner that you're using, right? So I use T-Rex Miner for NVIDIA, and then Team Red Miner for AMD. So this is talking about specifically just the miner. A lot of people do like that on 2 minutes. That's where I prefer mine as well. So we'll change that to 2 minutes. And then you have this reboot rig after 5 minutes. So if restarting the miner does not fix the card, HiveOS is able to go ahead and just reboot the whole rig. Rebooting does oftentimes help the rigs come back online. With this particular card, when it was in my other rig, it wasn't. But I like to set that on 5 minutes, okay? So 2 minutes after the hash rate goes below what we're going to set it at, it's going to restart just the miner itself. After 5 minutes, it's going to go ahead and shut down the whole rig and reboot it. That's HiveOS as well as the miner. Now reboot if LA is greater than blank. You can click on this and sort of look through this. So it says reboot the rig if LA exceeds the set value longer than 5 minutes, or LA exceeds double value longer than 1 minute. The minimum value is the number of cores. Recommended value is 25. So LA is load average. A lot of people do get a lot of load average errors inside of HiveOS. So we traditionally just go with the recommendation of 25. I have not had any issues with having a load balance or a load average error and HiveOS not rebooting. So this works really well for that. I do not mess with any of the other settings in here. You can reboot if a GPU is offline, but if a GPU goes offline, your hash rate will probably fall lower than what we're going to put it in here for. So I don't really find that that's necessary. And don't reboot if the internet is lost. Honestly, I don't mess with this. I've never had any issues. I've had internet go down while mining, and it will try to reboot, but then the moment it tries to reboot, it can't phone home. So I'm not too worried about it. It'll try to reboot once, but then after that, since it doesn't have internet, it won't be able to phone home. Minimum power, we don't mess with any of this. The power action is going to be a reboot. Now you can put it on minors or algorithms. I keep it on minors. Now if you were using, let's say you had a mixed rig and you had one card, one 3070 on T-Rex minor, and then let's say a 5700, or I have a couple of 570s still in production, the 8 gig models. So you would see T-Rex minor, and then you would see, actually this is my test farm as well. So like here for this watchdog, you'll see here, right, Team Red minor, and you can put a separate hash. T-Rex minor, you can put a separate hash. So this is just some of my test farms here. So back into here. So we're gonna have this on minors. Now a lot of people wonder what should I put for the hash, so that when it falls below this, right, this is the number that we're deeming when you're no longer getting that much hash rate off this card. Obviously there's only one card on this and it gets about 60. When we're not getting 45 or over, it's going to start the countdown for the 3 to 5 minutes. Now I've seen some people, let's say that we have, let's pull up a calculator. Let's say that we actually have a rig of 5 of these, right? So we can assume 60 times 5, right? So that's going to be your 300. Now I've seen a lot of people put this at 298. The reason why I don't like putting it at 298 is some cards can throttle based on heat issues. That throttling lowers the hash rate, right? Hash rate fluctuates slightly, but not extreme. So what I traditionally really like to do with Watchdog is I want to make sure that my rig stays up and isn't rebooting if it doesn't have to. So I actually figure out, if this was my rig, I would say, well, they're all 60, right? So if we had one card fall off, it would be at 240. So what I'd probably do is put this at 250. And the reason why I put it at 250 because I can assume it's only going to try to restart the miner or reboot if one of my cards completely drops off, and that the fluctuating hash rate doesn't just drop below it for long enough that it reboots my rig. So that's why you see 45 here. Like I said, this is my test bench, so it's 60. If this card falls off, it's going to fall well below the 45 here, so I'm not really worried about that. And guys, that's really all that there is to it. You can go ahead, looks like it didn't save that here for me. You can go ahead and hit apply. Those are really the only settings that you need to know, and a configuration will be pushed out to your rig. Some things to note: if you do see, and you will see it up here in the command line, if you do see a reboot, you come back to your rig and you log in and you see that it rebooted, you can actually click on it and it will take a screenshot of the miner, and you'll be able to see what cards actually fell off so that you can troubleshoot better. But guys, I'm telling you, this is a must, absolute must to have Watchdog on. We don't make money if our rigs aren't up, so let's try to keep those rigs up as long as possible. Well guys, I do appreciate you guys sticking with me. Like I said, I hadn't posted a video in a couple of weeks because I was in Hawaii taking care of my grandmother. If you guys would, please go ahead and hit that sub button if you guys aren't already subbed. And please smash the like button. The YouTube algorithm absolutely loves you smashing the like button. And until next time, guys.